fascinating, given that the Dark Elves only recently opened it to outsiders. Our spies indicate there might be something wrong with the Dunmer's God King, Vivek. Anything capable of that is a threat to everyone.
It is written, my Vvarden, my paradise.
Be wary, Trevor. Pilgrims have been attacked on these roads.
At first, I assumed it was the usual house squabbles.
It attacked our camp last night, tore poor Ilva's head off, right in front of me.
You must hunt it. You must kill it.
Ashlanders once respected each other, helped one another.
These nomadic heretics deny the divinity of the tribunal and have no love for
Lies
Vivek.
upon lies! Does it give them pleasure to invent reasons to bring us harm?
I'm not sure they deserve to be saved, but that's what we have to do.
I don't need you starting a blood feud.
Sometimes the great gear turns from frustration to opportunity.
Outlander, a word. By order of the Deputy Governor of Sedanin, which happens to be me, the lighthouse is closed until further notice. On the other hand, I seek an Outlander who's willing to do a little work. I need someone without ties to the area to look into a matter for me. It seems the lighthouse was broken into. The flame was extinguished. As a result, a ship crashed along the shore. There were fewer bodies than expected, both living and dead. I suspect slavers were involved, which means they had help here in town. I find that unacceptable. Discover who doused the lamp fire. They'll lead us to the slavers. Question Delms, who was on duty that night. He's in the lighthouse. I need to check in with the Overseer. His workers are searching the wreckage, and I want to know what they've uncovered. By the time we were alerted and had organized a response, precious moments had been lost. We rescued a few, but mostly we found those who had drowned or were crushed on the rocks. Even so, it was nowhere near the numbers a ship like that carries. It was just a typical sailing ship from the mainland. I suppose it carried the usual complement of cargo and travelers eager to reach our verdant shores. I don't believe that such a vessel would make the trip without filling its holds. Damn slavers. Ever since our agreement with the Pact went into effect, slavery has been outlawed throughout most of Morrowind. But all we did was drive the slavers into the shadows. This whole stinking event has their bloody fingerprints all over it. Here, and in all of the territories controlled by the great houses that support the Ebonheart Pact. If you stray into Telvanni or Dres territory, though, the practice remains strong and vibrant. Hence my current troubles. We are just a small outpost along the Bitter Coast, but I like to think of us as the gateway to Vvardenfell. From here, Vivek City and the other inland locations are easily accessible. Governor O'Melian is in charge, although I contribute as necessary.
Halt! No one's allowed up here. She asked you to... an Outlander? Isn't it enough she stuck me up here to guard the flame indefinitely, but now she's looking for help outside the house guard? What else can I expect after what happened the other night? Findon sent a barrel of his finest ale for Watch Captain Bethes's birthday. Powerful stuff. 1 cup and we could barely keep our eyes open. The entire regiment was knocked on its collective arse. When I came to my senses, I saw that the fire had gone out. Look, once I heard the crash along the shore, it was all I could do to get moving and raise the alarm. Cherish's water loves to loiter near the lighthouse. Maybe she noticed something. If you're intent on doing your job, you should talk to her.
Do you mind? Your dirty foot coverings are contaminating my pond. So direct you are. It makes my tongue wither and the answers dry up in my mouth. Go and bother someone else with your parching questions. No! There's no need to involve the governor's deputy or the house guard. When they start breathing down my neck, my scales shrivel right up. I did notice someone near the lighthouse that night. You keep asking the wrong question. I did not see anyone that night. I felt them. They made ripples in the water. I felt them stop by the tree that overlooks my pond. Then they moved off towards the lighthouse. Look to the tree, moist one. I prefer my waters to remain still, calm. Crying causes ripples, and ripples lead to more dry questions.
Not now, citizen. I'm up to my armpits in problems today. Really, Outlander, it's commendable that you're trying to learn our ways, but the words of the Tribunal just sound silly when you say them like that. I suggest you stick to sightseeing and leave the religion to us.
An Outlander. I can never seem to get enough of your kind here. You're welcome in Vvardenfell, of course. Just obey the laws and refrain from causing trouble, and you'll get along just fine. What? What did you say? I suggest you leave now before I set the guards upon you.
Despite all the excitement around the recent shipwreck, I'm in here, guarding the governor's office. I suppose someone might want to steal a quill or a stack of parchment, but still, my talents are clearly being wasted. Word of advice, don't mention anything about the tribunal to the governor. He's not happy with some recent rules and regulations that have come down from on high.
Well?
Is it true Tonville sacrificed himself to seals? Vvardenfell can be a dangerous place. Slavers, rocks falling from the sky, a mountain threatening to explode. Makes me wonder what I'm still doing here. But who would feed these people if I left? I don't want that on my conscience. That's something to do with the tribunal, isn't it? I'm sorry, but I really try not to pay too much attention to the Dark Elves and their strange religion.
You're an adventurer, aren't you? I knew it. What an exciting life you must lead. You absolutely need to tell me all about it. Are you free later? I can meet you after the shop closes for the day. That's a good one! That tribunal nonsense is almost as funny as some of the things I heard in Hrothgar. Say, if you want to get together later, I know a couple of body stories that I'd love to share.
Is that the
Welcome
Cherish's
to our
word?
shop.
Poor dear. Her scales are very sensitive, you know.
Welcome to our shop. Feel free to look around. Keep it down. We don't want to attract undue attention. But what happened? I thought I was supposed to go to the drop. You didn't come all this way just to give me my reward, did you? Already? Let me see. Oh, it's beautiful. I love working for the tribunal. It's so much better than trying to earn a living as a thief in Vivec City. But where's your helmet? I've never seen an ordinator out of uniform before. Oh, right. We're not supposed to talk about ordinators in the tribunal in such a public place. But it feels good to be doing holy work for a change. And such a simple task, snuffing out the lighthouse flame. I mean, Omsivi is the ending of words. Oh, that was easy. I put a sleeping draught in the ale they ordered for Watch Captain Bethes's birthday. The guards were unconscious within the hour. I hope I can be of service again. For the tribunal.
Don't cause trouble.
Drinking!
Unfortunately, the wreck of the vessel provided no additional clues. Were you able to discover anything during your investigation? The young woman who works with the grocer. I doubt the tribunal would ask her to do something so reckless. Do you have any proof other than her word? This is disturbing. This parchment feels just like the sheets that Governor Emilian special orders from High Rock. I'm going to need you to acquire another sample from the governor's office. It's the only way to be certain. Not if I don't want him to know I suspect that he's working with the slavers, or the tribunal, though I still consider that to be some sort of fabrication. No, if I alert him too soon, he'll just cover his tracks. Not the office. He keeps it in his private quarters, accessed through the guardhouse. But I'd never suggest that you sneak into his quarters and steal a blank sheet of his special parchment. That would be against the law. Do you understand me? Back again? So tell me, you didn't do anything unlawful now, did you? That's odd. We haven't done a search of Firemoth Island since Governor Emelian declared that the House Guard was better used patrolling farther up the coast. And these parchment sheets definitely match. This is very disturbing. What I think doesn't matter. We need evidence. But we also need to launch a rescue. Slavery is illegal in Pact territory. It's time to visit Firemoth Island. Hopefully, somewhere along the way we'll find more proof of Governor Emelian's ties to all of this. Attack before the soldiers have been assembled? That's not a prudent course of action. We need to muster our forces, make plans and contingencies, unlock the armory. What was that? That's a distress signal, and it came from Firemoth Island. No time to prepare. We have to rescue the slavers' prisoners. Soldiers, to the ships! We sail for Firemoth Island!
What do you want?
I'm free, thanks to you.
I owe you one.
At last, I'm free!
Getting old is no picnic, but the alternative is a lot worse.
My eternal thanks.
The deputy governor is waiting for you in the governor's office. It's been rather quiet in there. Satan is the preeminent port into Vvardenfell. I process new arrivals so the tribunal knows who might be gallivanting across this fair land. It's so much more prestigious than my efforts for the Gold Coast Trading Company. Once, long ago in another life, I served as a clerk for the company right here in Vvardenfell. Helped build many of the fine Imperial-style structures you see. I must have impressed House Hlalu, for they offered me this distinguished position. For the most part, but sometimes it takes great effort not to strangle one or more of these pointy-eared blusterers. For example, no one ever remembers their birth sign. Some even try to change their answers on repeat visits, as if I wouldn't notice.
Someone attacked the governor. This guard will live. Did you find anything important on Firemoth Island? The governor called upon the Morag Tong to hide his involvement, but it appears they simply brought it to light. As this note and the other evidence you uncovered clearly states, he was working with the slavers. On behalf of Sedanine, thank you.
Deputy Governor?
Sergeant, where's Governor Emelian? What happened here?
Sergeant Delmas. He's dead. When I came to inform the governor, he ambushed me.
The governor seeks to escape justice. After him!